Now, at the top of the show, I talked about the cancel culture, Pete Evans cancelling him. And much as I hate the cancel culture, I can live with that, to be honest. But then you get the fall last week of one of the most powerful men in soccer. Greg Clarke was chairman of Britain's Football Association. He was also vice president of FIFA, the International Football Association. But then he said something so racist, or so we're told, that he's been forced to resign those jobs in apparent disgrace. Let me show you now the moment that his career was destroyed and see if you can spot the shocking, unforgivable racism of this man as he gave evidence to politicians.
If I look at what happens to high-profile female footballers, high-profile coloured footballers, and the abuse they take on social media, not from the crowds, because, you know, you get misbehaviour in crowds, but largely people have bought a season ticket, they're going to behave because they will be banned for life if they get giving racist or homophobic abuse.
Did you hear the explosion when his career was destroyed? It was when he said coloured players. And when he was pulled up, his explanation and his apology, they didn't save him.
One, if I said it, I deeply apologise for it. Secondly, I am a product of having worked overseas. I worked in the USA for many years, where I was required to use the term people of colour. And sometimes, because that was the product of their diversity legislation and positive discrimination format, sometimes I trip over my words. Now,
the thing is, no one has said that Greg Clarke has ever treated anyone badly because of their race. His sin is he just didn't use the right code words. And for that, he was damned as like a supporter of apartheid by the likes of Piers Morgan.
When do we start calling black players coloured? I mean, this is the stuff from apartheid South Africa.
When did people start calling black guys coloured? Well, Piers, how about actually on your own show just this year and with your own Andy Peters?
Am I or am I not the only person of colour standing in this studio right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, I am.
Joining me is the panel, James Morrow, opinion editor of the Daily Telegraph and co-host of Outsiders, and Liz Storer of communications consultant GTMedia. Liz, was Greg Clarke dumped from the top of the football world because he's a racist or because he doesn't speak code of the Gotcha Brigade?
It was, of course, the latter, Andrew, and this is becoming alarmingly common now. We've got, it doesn't matter what you're good at, whether you're a sporting celebrity, a chef, whatever you are, you become immediately defined if you've put a foot out of line according to said brigade. You've got to feel sorry for the seniors among us in this ridiculous age where words that 2 minutes ago meant one thing now mean another. You'll notice in the clip that you just played where the black gentleman does use the term people of colour. Now, that was perfectly okay, not because he's black, but because, Andrew, big difference here, coloured people, not okay. You'll get fired. You'll be in disgrace. Across the world, it will be discussed what a racist bigot you are. But people of colour, perfectly okay. And if you're confused by that, Andrew, there is an article in the Chicago Times that explains the difference between the two and how one is career-destroying and the other one perfectly okay. I mean, throughout the years, the term has changed. How do you refer to black people? First it was coloured, then it was Negro, then it was black, then it was African-American.
You can say black,
how
you can't say coloured. I don't get it.
This? Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually showed Piers Morgan's fellow, colleague saying coloured people. James Morrow, the thing that upsets me is that nobody's actually saying that this guy is a racist, as in he thinks less of people because of their colour and has done things to people depending on their colour. It is entirely whether he followed the right wording.
Yeah, but that's the entire thing now, isn't it, Andrew? It's all about how people act and feel about how you act. It's not about what you actually do. So it's this, republic of feelings that we live in that has everybody on tenterhooks. And that's actually the real idea behind this. When you start to create a situation where people have to always be on guard because they might have their career blown up. That's going to make them extra super nervous and careful, and they're going to cower in the face of these politically correct enforcers, because they will do whatever they can to stay on the right side, and they will go further and further than is necessary. And that's why we see this sort of endless loop and spiral of virtue signaling in sports, in academia, in the corporate world, where everybody is trying to rush to keep 2 steps ahead of these censors.